trying too hard. Hey guys, today we're going to be checking Mangrove Jack's hard seltzers. So normally I'm brewing beer, but today we're going to check out hard seltzer. It's only $20, so it's really cheap to actually try it out. So I'm excited, so let's see what's in this box. So let's take a look and see what's inside this box. So first we open it up. We got our, I'm assuming this is our instruction manual, which is pretty cool. Recipe kit. We have our yeast. We have our beer fittings, which is for if you're gonna keg it, which I am not actually kegging this one. I'm going to actually bottle it, so it's gonna be a little different. We have our, pretty sure this is just the sugar syrup. Anything else? And we have the seltzer sweetener, and then we have some more fittings, and we got one more thing in here, and that is the raspberry flavoring. So there's 3 different flavors that they have for this. I'm not sure what the other ones are. I know it's lemon lime, I think pineapple, and then the raspberry breeze. So, all right. So the things that you're going to need for the seltzer are pretty much the same that you would need for a beer. So you're going to need a bottling bucket. This one's just from Brewer's Best, but if you don't have that, you can get something as simple as a food grade bucket from Walmart or Home Depot, any home improvement stores. This one, I put the spigot on it, so this is for beer. It's my bottling bucket or my fermenter. So, but any bucket's gonna work. Most people use stainless steel, things like that. The other things that you're gonna need are something to stir it with. So, spoon, that could work. I recommend having a thermometer with you. I use 2 different thermometers, so I always keep this one in the pot so I always know what the temperature is, and this one so I can check it, so I can get a more accurate temperature. You're also going to need an airlock, and then a pair of scissors. So you're going to need a pair of scissors. And then last but not least, your hydrometer. So this is my hydrometer that I got. Really nice. I got this on Amazon. So I can link you guys all the descriptions. Link you guys all the stuff in the description if you guys need it. So let's get started with sanitizing and cleaning everything. So some of the things that you're going to need when you're cleaning and sanitizing is I use One Step, which is very nice. I use this to clean everything, and then just like how everybody else does, I use Star San to sanitize everything. So we're going to put some of that One Step in here, the cleaner, and then I'm going to sanitize everything. Make sure when you guys are sanitizing everything, it's anything that's going to touch the liquid. So your scissors, your airlock, your lid, everything's going to go in here. So I'm going to fill this up with the Star San, and then I'm going to put all my equipment in there, and we're going to get started with the boil. So Star San makes it very easy to actually put it in. So all you got to do is just squeeze until it gets up to a ½ ounce, and then you're going to dump 2 of these in. So it's 1 ounce per 5 gallons. So once you get that filled up, you're going to fill it up with warm water and just set that aside while we're brewing. So the things that you're going to want to put in here is your airlock, your scissors, your lid, anything that like I said is going to be touching the liquid itself. So you're going to want to make sure that's sanitized so that everything is clean. Also, when cleaning your buckets, you want to make sure you're not scrubbing around the sides, because that's going to actually allow bacteria to grow. So if you plan on reusing this and you scrub it to clean, don't do that. Try to avoid that. A lot of people say that plastics has an off taste, but I don't think it does. So it's your personal preference. So again, these are the simple tools that we're going to be using to be making this hard seltzer. So like I said, we're going to have our thermometer. So we're going to make sure just to put everything in and just drop it in nice and evenly. Now this isn't going to fit all the way in, so I let it soak for a little bit, and then I'll flip it. We're going to also put our airlock in. And then we're gonna put our scissors, and we're going to leave that one out. So then we'll just put those all in. So the nice thing about having this filled up with sanitizer now is we can also put our spigot on there and make sure it's actually not leaking. Because if it's leaking when it's fermenting, that's going to be bad. You're going to get it everywhere. So it's nice to see that it's filled with water, or sanitizer in our case, and that we have no leaks. All right, so the first step into making this seltzer is it says in here that you need to stand the liquid sugar pouch in hot water. So I just simply filled up my sink. So we're gonna take this pouch, and we're going to just drop it in. And we're gonna flip it every so often to make sure that it is nice and warm to be put into the fermenter. So let's wait about 30 minutes like it says on the instructions, and I'll see you guys then. All right, so we're just waiting for this to stay nice and warm. So flipping it every so often. As you guys can see that I actually drained out all my sanitizer. So all the sanitizer is out, and it's okay to have a little bit of foam in here. I think Star San sayings actually don't fear the foam, so it's okay to have a little bit. So I took out all the contents that were in here, and I actually put them on a nice paper towel, so everything's all sanitized and clean. So the next step on the instructions say to actually boil a liter of water. So that's what I'm doing. I'm actually boiling a liter of water, and we're gonna wait for that to boil, and then we will continue on with our next step. So you're going to be adding water. You can use tap water, you can use it from your refrigerator, you can use it from wherever. I prefer to actually get just gallons of water, and I keep them in the refrigerator to keep them nice and cold. So I have a bunch that are ready to go. So like I said, we're gonna wait for that to get a little bit more warm, the sugar packet, and then we're gonna add that into the fermenter. All right guys, so we're on ready for the next step. So we're going to grab this sugar packet out. So once the sugar packet is out, we're going to use our sanitized scissors, cut open the top. There's also a little pull tab at the top, but it's a little bit easier to use some scissors. Once we get that, we're going to take this packet, we're going to dump it right into our fermenter, just like that. We're going to make sure that we get everything out, so squeeze everything out that we possibly can. So once we get that done, we're going to take some boiling water, so our 1 liter of boiling water, we're going to add that in there. And now we're going to stir that until it's all stirred together. So this is what it should look like. So you're just gonna want to keep stirring this until everything is dissolved in there. So just make sure you guys give it a good stir. And then we're going to fill this up to 5 gallons with water. All right, so now that we've stirred that, we're going to add 5 gallons of water. So let's get to it. Now the nice thing about using these is that you know that there's 5 gallons. Fortunately for me, this bucket does tell me where 5 gallons is, so I do know where 5 gallons is. But if you have a standard bucket like these that you buy from Home Depot, Lowe's, or anything like that, these are normally 5 gallons, so there's not much room for head space, which gives room for expansion whenever it's fermenting. So we're just gonna keep adding these buckets of water, and then we'll top it off to 5 gallons. All right, now that we have 5 gallons of water in there, we just want to make sure that the temperature is between 64 degrees Fahrenheit and 79 degrees Fahrenheit. So we take our thermometer. We just want to make sure, check in a couple different spots, and in our case it is. So it's a little bit lower than, well, actually it's right on. So that's perfect. So now we're gonna add our yeast into here. All right, so we're actually going to be adding the sweetener and the yeast. So let's get to it. So again, with your sanitized scissors, just make sure that the sweetener is all the way down at the bottom. We'll cut off the top. So I like to do this over top of the fermenter itself. That way you can get, if anything falls out, you get it all in there. So just make sure we add all that in. Okay, and then we're going to be adding the yeast and the nutrient. And then we're going to stir it all in. So as you can see that we have the yeast and the sweetener in there. Just gonna make sure it all gets stirred in so that everything is getting to know each other. All right, so now that we're done with that, we're gonna go ahead and secure this lid. So you really just wanna make sure you pound it down on there, nice and tight. So once that's down there nice and tight, we can go ahead and put our airlock on. So as you can see on the airlock, there's actually a little line that's in the center, right there. And we're going to fill that up with either sanitizer water, so the water that left over from your sanitizer, or boiling water. In my case, I accidentally dumped out all the sanitizer. I don't feel like making more, so I'm just boiling up some water. I'm gonna fill that up to that line, and then we're gonna go ahead and put that just right down on here. So nice little squeeze, and make sure it's down nice, tight, and secure, because if it's not, it's gonna pop off. So we just wanna make sure it's nice and secure on there. All right, guys, as you can see, I do have the airlock on there, and it's filled up to the line. And I do have the cap on there. The cap is very important. A lot of people might lose that little cap. This little cap. But you want to make sure you have that on there, because if your house has a little bit of like fruit flies or something like that, they actually get into the airlock, so you don't want that. So make sure you have this cap. All right, guys, so this is how you guys take a hydrometer reading. So all you want to do is simply fill it up with your liquid or your beer, or in this case it's our seltzer, and then you want to drop your hydrometer in there. So you want to look at where it says beer. So a lot of these have different readings on there. So we're going to look at beer, okay? And we're going to just drop this down and we're going to read it. So in our case, it's going to be about 1.34. So 1.034, which is good because our start gravity when we want it around 1.28 or 1.032. So it's a little high, but it'll be okay. All right, and then last but not least, we're gonna want to set that somewhere aside and then wait about 7 days. So you're gonna start seeing the airlock start to bubble. That's completely normal. You want that. So in about 7 days, that's going to stop, and then you're gonna be ready for the next step. So just wait for that to go, and you're gonna be good to go. Now, our instructions say that we need to keep it at anywhere from 69 degrees Fahrenheit to 79. So as long as you keep it kind of in your room, somewhere away from people to mess with it, you're gonna be good to go. So it's a very easy kit to make. Very, very simple. I can't wait to try it, and I'm really excited to see how it turns out. So I think it's gonna be a little cloudy. It's not gonna be as clear as like a White Claw or something like that, but it's going to be pretty good because we made it. So let's try it, and we'll see you guys in about 7 days. So thanks, guys.